there are accommodations made in a regular classroom. Why can't we can make accommodations as we see fit, and that are not going to be a hindrance, but actually going to help move forward.
And I think that's an important key for parents to understand, that they can make these accommodations for their children, and depending on the special needs of the child, some are never going to get their multiplication table, so they can just rhyme them off.
I'm glad you said that, because there are so many parents who are like, we tried this program, and they're still not getting it. And even my son, my oldest, he's been through every level of calculus now in college, but he struggled with his multiplication tables. And so it does not affect, it has to do with their long-term memory, and eventually, if they use them enough,
right,
they'll figure out a way to figure them out.
The important thing is if they understand what they're doing. If they can understand the 5 times 6 is 6 multiples of 5 or 5 multiples of 6, then if they understand that,
right,
it's not so important how fast they get to it. Some kids will never get to it fast. And if they understand it, letting them use the calculator to get to it will help them once they get to the algebra.
The concepts that are the important thing, and understanding those concepts are the most important. And it can be helpful to have those facts where you don't have to think about it. It can be very helpful, but it's not the end of the world if it takes longer. I remember we had given a talk at a convention, and this woman, she was a psychologist, and she had pulled her child out for various reasons. And she was stressed because there was this expectation that the certain times you tests and all of that. And I asked how old he was, and he was, I think he was only 3rd grade. And and he was so anxious because of everything that he'd gone through in school with the timed tests, that if he knew it was a timed test, it was almost like his brain just shut down and said, I can't do it. It's too much for me. And so I said, look, it could take a couple years before, there's a fly going around here, before, he has that anxiety where it's at a level that he can, he's okay with it. And I said, if you're really stressed about it for you, I said, time him, but don't let him know that you're timing him, just for your sake.
Exactly.
How he's going. And I said, he's got time. It's not necessary to push him. All you're going to do is just create more anxiety for him. Whereas if you just let him kind of take a breather, it's more about the learning than it is the this time to get it done as fast as you can kind of thing. And sometimes and she just hearing me say that was like, okay, that's what I thought, but I just needed to hear something else say it.
Exactly. It's such simple advice, but the norm, when we take the public school or private school mentality and put it in our house, we create a lot of anxiety for our kids that we don't necessarily need to be bringing into that whole situation. And we always talk about the process of deschooling kids when you take them out of public school, because a lot of families who have special needs kids, homeschooling wasn't their first choice. Right. They really thought the school can really help this child. I'm ill equipped as a parent. And then they realize, no, they're really not. And now I'm teaching this child, and what do I do to help them get over the bullying, the anxiety, just the blockage? Like you said, there's a block because school has been so hard. And just taking that time away and realizing that it's about learning. It's not about school.